Okay guys, we're getting ready to change the oil and filter in our little John Deere X300. This has the Kawasaki engine. If I'm not mistaken, it's 17 horsepower. We'll double check that. It should have a tag on it. The X300 is an upgrade from the E series that you commonly see at the big box stores. The Kawasaki engine is much nicer. And these are supposed to have a heavier duty frame that you can use with a snow blower or a little snow plow. That being said, I'm not sure how good it would do with a snow plow unless you just had a perfectly level driveway. But I'm not sure. I've never used one. I usually don't plow snow because we don't get a lot of snow. And if we do, I usually just use my truck to plow through it. So don't have a big driveway. It's not a big deal for me. So it's never been an issue. But anyway, let me show you what we're going to do here. So we got a little drain pan. You could remove the mowing deck and make some of this easier as far as what you're going to do, but I don't want to remove the mowing deck. So here is our oil drain. We'll just lay this over out of the way. I'm going to crack the oil cap so it'll let the vacuum out of the system. Let the oil drain. Now, oil filter's easy. It's right there. Automotive style. I think the aftermarket part number of this, I'm going to double check, is a 51394 Wix, which would be a 1394 from Napa. And anyway, we'll get that off and show you what we got there. As you can see, the oil's still draining. I may have to adjust my pan a little bit. But guys, I don't know how much we missed. I haven't went back through the video yet, but my camera cut off. I must have hit it with my hand trying to do two things at once. I used this cut-off jug stuck up under the oil filter to take the oil filter off, and then I just let the oil filter drop down in here, and then I let the excess oil run out of the engine that was still stuck behind the oil filter down into the jug, and I had that rag under it to catch it. So now let's get our hot oil filter out of here. And this is a John Deere filter, which, since this thing had been serviced with John Deere its whole life since I bought it, had complete service records, that makes sense. Now let's see what that oil filter is in a non-John Deere. Okay guys, went and took a break, got a shower for the day, got somewhere to go. I'm going to thread this oil filter on before I go, and then when I come back I'll finish this video for you all. I just got things to do, but I want to leave the oil filter off. So I want to show you something here on oil filters. And I'm going to give a little disclaimer on this. Do this at your own risk, because I'm not John Deere. I'm not the manufacturer. I'm not Kawasaki. I didn't manufacture this engine. So I'm just going to tell you what I have found out through my research and double checking, and what a lot of the commercial guys do. And I double checked the oil filter threads are the correct between these three oil filters. The gasket size is the same. The only difference is capacity. And the primary difference is capacity. Primary. So I'm going to go with this longer filter because I got clearance for it and because I have extras. And I'm not going to go with the middle-sized filter because I have plenty of these, but they fit my daughter's Focus. So, and my daughter's Escape. I got an Escape and a Focus this fits, so I don't want to use up my inventory on this. But I don't have anything this other one fits, and I've had these oil filters for a few years now, so I'm going to use them up. And so I'm going to show you what we got. Let's take a look. So here is our John Deere AM125424C. So the equivalent to that, this is the one that fits my daughter's Escape and my other daughter's Focus, is the MGL 51348. So eventually this is probably what I'll run, since I'm already keeping this for those two vehicles. But I've also got these. I used to have an automotive repair business. This is a Ford Ranger and a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, it fits the 3.0 Ford Ranger engine and the Taurus 3.0 and a lot of other stuff. And so it's just a bigger filter. This, if I remember right, has a 1/2 quart capacity, and these are a little over 1/4 quart. And these are obviously quite a bit smaller, as you can see. Diameter's the same, it's just shorter. And I've done checked the specs, but as you can see, the gasket and the sealing surface is the same. So this is a 1516 Napa Gold, which is a 51516 Wix oil filter. And this is the MGL 51348 Micro Guard, which is a 51348 Wix filter or a 1348 Napa Gold filter. So that would probably be my preference and probably what I would run if I didn't need to use those up. So I'm going to use these up and put this one back on the shelf. Well, in the cabinet. So up here is my oil filter inventory, these two cabinets from where I had my business. And up here is where the 51348 goes. So I've got several more of these 516s, and I don't currently own anything of that 3-liter engine. Or it fits a lot of other stuff too, but I don't own anything that it fits. So here's what we're going to use. And as you can see, make sure my surface is clean. Get a little bit of oil. Put on my gasket surface. That helps it seal. And before I do that, I'm going to take my rag and wipe out that valley. If this won't clear that guard, I'll go back to the, yep, and it won't. I could modify that, but I'm not going to. So we will go with the 51348 oil filter. That's the one thing you got to check, is to make sure you got clearance. Now, if this one won't clear, I will modify that guard just to keep from having to go, to John Deere every time I need an oil filter. And not to mention, these are probably a better quality oil filter than the John Deere oil filter, especially if you run that Napa Gold. So let's see if we clear here. Now I just had to pull the guard back a little bit to get the oil filter started. Tighten it down. We have clearance. I've already tightened back up pulled the guard back to get the oil filter in there, but once I tighten it down, it clears. And I've already tightened up my drain, so I just got to fill it up full. But I don't have quite enough oil. It holds almost 2 quarts. I just got barely over 1.5 quarts, so I'm gonna swing by and pick me up some oil. And I'm running in this a Napa full synthetic, which is Valvoline. Simplifying things makes things better. This full synthetic is the same thing I run in my 2002 Explorer Sport Track 10W30. And I run that in some other stuff I've got, but that way I only got to keep that oil on hand and it'll work in that. They recommend 1030. Synthetic is not what they require, but I'm going with synthetic. So we'll bring it back, show you filling it up full. But as for now, it works. Okay guys, with my running around and goofing off a little bit here on Labor Day, I'm back. I've already got 1 quart of oil into the mower. So flip you around and show you where we pour it. It's 1.8 quarts with the factory filter. My filter is probably almost 1/4 quart larger, not quite. So I'm probably gonna be around 1.9, 1.95. So we'll see what we got here. We don't want to overfill, so we're gonna fill it up correctly. So as I showed you, there's what I went with. You can use any oil you want, basically. I like premium oil. So there's the clearance on that oil filter, just barely. I'm hoping this clears, looks like it will. And then here's where our oil goes in. And here's where we check it. Now most of these, you do not thread it on to check it. You stick it in. So Looks like we might have touched it, but we sure don't have what we need. Now, funnel is a good idea here. I still got my rag down there in case I spill. See if I can do this and hold the camera. Now if we overfill, we'll just drain a little bit back out the drain. So we have about 1.8 in it right now. Gonna be close. I don't think we're there yet. We are full. So move that off. Start her up, make sure we got no leaks. I don't have the parking brake engaged. Don't know if I'm gonna operate the truck choke and hold the key or not. All right, we don't have any leaks. So we're good. I will recheck the oil after I shut it off, let it drain down. Other than that, we're done, guys. So, like I said, the oil I used is full synthetic 1030. I happen to run Napa. Got a good relationship with a local Napa store. And the oil filter, once again, that came off of it is an AM125424. And guys, before you say, oh, John Deere only, John Deere don't make their oil filter, they contract it out. And then here is my Micro Guard oil filter. It's a MGL 51348. And then the Napa number is just 1348, and the Wix number is 51348. So guys, I hope that helped. Try out that longer oil filter if you feel froggy. Save you some money. Easier to get a hold of at your local store. You don't go run to John Deere. Any parts store is going to keep that filter because it's a popular filter. So if it helped, give me a thumbs up. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. There's always going to be more stuff like this coming out. We got other stuff coming on. There'll be blades going on that this winter when I retire it for the year. And I've got a XUV that needs to be serviced, so there's going to be a video coming up on that shortly. I've got most of the stuff ready to go with it, so we'll show you the same thing on it, how to service your XUV. All right, thank you, appreciate it, take care.